My intention in this video is not to be doom and gloom, but I also want to paint a realistic picture of the job market that we're in and what you might be up against if you're searching for a new job. If you're struggling in this job market to find a job, you are not alone. This has become an all too common theme. I want to talk candidly about the job market, but I also want to offer some hope and ideas at the end of this video because I believe that even if things are tough, there's always a way and we need to keep pushing forward. The experience of many and the data confirms it. The job market right now stinks. Layoff after layoff, job reports repeatedly being revised down. They try to paint a different picture, but it doesn't add up. And we're smart enough to see that something is off. It's so frustrating that many have either wanted to or have literally dropped out of the job market. But for most that are either unemployed or underemployed, there's no choice. You need to find a job, so you're forced to push through and deal with this. Layoffs have become so common that the news of a layoff doesn't even really surprise us anymore. Companies reducing their workforce to cut expenses and increase earnings and shifting to use AI whenever possible. This has left us in a place where we now have more unemployed people than we have open jobs. The people outnumber the opportunities. And this doesn't even factor in functional unemployment. In other words, those people who are underemployed, working multiple jobs to scrape by, or have just dropped out of the workforce completely. The latest estimate, about 24% of workers fall into this category. That's 1 in 4. Before we dig in further, my name is Doug, and I've helped thousands of people land jobs, navigate layoffs, and build careers that they love. Be sure to check out the link in the description where you can find out how to get my fast track job search bootcamp and a free 7-day job search kickstart as my gift from me to you. I also offer some limited one-on-one coaching services. You can find out information about that at my website, careeriq.biz. I'll also leave a link in the description. You know the routine. A job gets posted and your first response is this even real? Then you put in your application amongst hundreds or thousands of other applications, and often you may be applying for a job that you're not even sure you want. The application process in many cases seems ridiculous. Multiple steps, creating an account and a login for an individual system that you're likely never going to use again, entering in all your information because apparently the system can't parse your resume correctly that you just uploaded. Then it's behavior assessments and other assessments and behavior-based questions before you even know if you have an interview or even a shot at this role. And like I said, to top it all off, you're wondering if this job posting is even real. If you do get an interview, it may not even be with a real person. If you get invited into the interview process, you could be ghosted after one meeting, even though they promised not to ghost you, or drug through multiple rounds of interviews just to find out that they offered the position to someone else. If you get through to the offer stage, now you have to negotiate and avoid a lowball offer. And to top it all off, if you do get that job, nobody really feels secure anymore because stability in this job market has become a thing of the past. Too often, we're a number on a spreadsheet, and when layoffs come, we become a financial and a productivity decision. So what's going on here? What's the problem or problems? Well, number one, we're at a place in the job market where the number of people looking for work now outnumbers the amount of open jobs available. There are too many people for too few jobs, and employers know that. Number two, the character and principles of an extensive number of companies has degraded. Most employers just aren't committed to long-term employees, to helping them grow in their careers, and to striving to keep a stable workforce. In other words, profits and earnings reports are the primary focus, and quite honestly, they always have been the driving force at the core of business. However, corporate America, to a great degree, has broke the job search process and the job market because employees have become an expendable commodity, and that has dramatically impacted how the process works. The job market is broken, and it appears to be our new normal, at least for the foreseeable future. What do we do? Well, before we talk about working through the job search process, I'm going to recommend that we need to be considering multiple streams of income. I believe that for many, we should be looking for opportunities to start our own side hustle so that we aren't always at the mercy of an employer for our entire income. But regarding the job search in general, we can't change corporate America, but we can change our approach and make sure that we are taking the lead in every area of our search that we can influence. So, what are those steps? Real quick, while you're here, drop a comment down below and tell me what steps that you've taken to adjust your job search in this job market. I'd love to hear about your experience. Now, back to the steps that we can take. Number one, while your resume is important, you can't just depend on that. You have to be tapping your network, trying to gain an in with companies that you're applying to and looking for a referral or somebody that can move your name forward or vouch for you. I'm not saying that you don't apply directly to jobs, but the importance of making connections can't be underestimated. Number two, with regard to your resume, it has to match that particular position as close to 100% as possible. If you think for a moment that you can throw any old resume at a job and just wait, I'm sorry to say this is not a good plan. In a time where hiring managers are receiving multiple resumes that may highly match their criteria, they will not dig deep and look to see if you may be a match or have some transferable skills. If you're presenting some form of a transition, you have to be very clear about that and why you are qualified. Hiring managers not only can be picky, but they need to be picky. They too are trying to make sure that their jobs are secure in this crazy job market, and they can't afford to have too many unproductive hires. Also, know that if it's at all possible, you got to get that application in within the first several days. By several days to a week in, recruiters will often already be in process and moving forward with their top picks, so applying early is really important. Number three, in today's market, you have to be continually learning and developing your skills to stay relevant. I'm not suggesting college or university, although that may be appropriate in some circumstances. I am saying that you have to polish your skills, learn that new software, get that certification, understand your career space and your industry, and be sure to remain relevant. And number four, when you get to the interview, you cannot afford to not be prepared. Winging it is not a good choice. We have to see interviews as very important since not everyone is getting to that stage. And once you're there, you have to nail it. You can't wing it. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you want a step-by-step system to help you navigate your job search, check out my Fast Track Job Search Bootcamp. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll also leave a link to my 7-day job search kickstart, a free gift from me to you. Thanks for watching. Until next time.